Hey there, Eric with you. Thanks so much for joining me. I remember a couple years ago, I was at my son's baseball game. He was playing against this team, and one of the mothers on the opposing team, she was sitting in the stands near me, and she was very vocal, very boisterous, especially when her son came up to bat or if he made a play out in the field. And I remember towards the end of the game, he was playing shortstop and he fielded a ball and he tried to throw it to first base to get the runner out on my son's team, and he made a wild errant throw, and it ended up the batter who hit the ball was able to get around the bases, and ultimately he ended up scoring, and that was the difference in the game. And I remember after the game, as the kids came out off the diamond, out of the dugouts, the mother was screaming at this kid. And this age group was probably 13, 14-year-olds, telling him how quote unquote stupid he was for making that type of play. And that always just stuck in my mind, that watching that unfold and seeing what happened, and then watching the boy's reaction as his mother scolded him by telling him he was stupid. And it just left an impression on me. I could see that little boy just taking that comment and internalizing it. And that's what I wanted to speak to you about today. Is a lot of times with our children, sometimes we say things, we make comments, we call them a certain word, we use certain adjectives, and we say that externally to them. But what happens, especially with children, is they will start to internalize that. So it starts off as an external voice of our opinion, and that goes internally into children. It becomes their internal world. And ultimately, down the road, especially if they hear that repetitively, it can become their identity. So it's just so important, and I know, believe me, I've been there many times. I have 3 children. We get upset, we get angry, we say things we do not mean. I've done it, I know, and afterwards we know we've done them wrong. But if we know maybe now that it can follow this type of cycle, again, external words through our mouths get into our children's internal world, and again, if it's strong enough, if it makes that sort of impact on them, it can start to turn out to be their identity later on in life and as they grow into adulthood. So just wanted to get that out there. I think it's such an important message. Again, I know we've all done it. We feel horrible when it happens, but maybe if we know that it can happen to this degree where it actually becomes their identity by what we're saying to them, that we can start to shift our criticism, the way we interact with our children if they do something wrong. So I hope that helps you, and I hope you take that into regard. Moving forward with your children can make such a difference. I'm certainly working at it. As they say, it's work in progress, but what a difference it can make. And turning this on the flip side also, think about if our external communication is more on the positive side. It's building their confidence. It's building their self-esteem. So maybe going back to that previous example of the baseball game, it's instead of that mother coming out of the stands and berating her son, not only her son, but in front of all those other people and calling him stupid. Maybe, if she took a different approach, of course she was upset and said, you know what, hey, shake it off. We're going to work at it. You'll get better and better. You learn from your mistakes. Just think if that slight change in approach, what a difference it could make down the road in terms of that boy's identity. So I hope, again, that helps you. And I will be making more and more videos for children's health and wellness, and just trying to get as much information and knowledge as I can out there to help kids. All right. Thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.